But on the other hand side, you can see, I think our first toys are actually just leaving the factory. So that should mean that soonish we should be selling those. Alright everybody, hello and welcome back to another episode of Rise of Industry with me, Spacefish. And welcome back to our beautiful little water siphon out here and our, well, slowly but surely, dialing up industry? We left off in the last episode with all this kind of being set up. And I'll have to say that I already kind of did record this episode once, but unfortunately, well, I got a new monitor, which is higher resolution, and OBS, due to that, just decided to kind of cut off like 3/4 of the recording, unfortunately. So we're gonna do this one again, and actually watch our industry flourish away, and, well, hopefully get growing and working just fine for us. So we set up this basic start to our production chain in the last episode. We have got the water siphon here going, which is, well, on the one hand side, feeding this air purifier a bit, which as you can see, the first trucks are just about to reach that now. And on the other hand side, also supposed to feed our plantation out here that is going to be growing berries and then selling those out ever after. Now, for kind of what we want to do for the future, I already have some things in mind. I mean, I already kind of did this once, so I do know where I do want to move us. This episode and then the one after. The one thing that we are definitely going to be eyeing is actually getting livestock and getting cattle and getting some milk and maybe some meat out of that, as you all also suggested down below in the comments. I mean, we've got this farmers market right here. We've got a nice demand for milk. We've got a nice demand for mutton, so both of these we can produce that way, and that is definitely what we're going to try and do too. But as you can see here in the tech tree, we've still got a bit of time to actually go until the wheat field is researched, and then after that we also still have to go and research cows. So that is going to take us a minute, but I'm sure we will get there eventually. Also, something I actually tried when doing when recording this episode the first time was actually going to fish out here at the shoreline, and I wasted a bit of money, because it turns out that they actually need to be fish, and not just, that there doesn't just need to be a shoreline, there needs to be fish, and we'll fish, for example, like up here somewhere, I think, yeah. So this is what you need. Don't build a fish harvester if there's nothing around here. So we at least spared ourselves that expense by me doing it again, I suppose. But there was, as far as I remember, also a few things that needed fixing, because I left off in the last episode with this warehouse out here. And this is, of course, not really in range of the farmer's market. And you can see here, outgoing products, the berries are not in there. So what we will actually have to go and do ourselves here is choose a destination for our berries, make that destination the farmer's market, like that, and then just sell out everything that we have, basically. What I also found out, which I really found quite cool, is that whenever you hover over these destinations, if you pay close attention to those streets right there, you can see that it actually shows you where, like, the actual delivery line, which I think is kind of nice. It's kind of just reassuring that everything is set up as it should be, and I do really have to say I like that a lot. Now, also, it seems that a first truck is reaching this warehouse, which should be delivering some water, which, well, as you can see now, there's a plantation truck that's actually going to go and pick up some water for the plantation, so hopefully, soon TM, we are going to have the first berries growing on this plantation right here too. Other than that, I think everything should be pretty much set up in terms of incoming products and destinations, outgoing products up here. Down here, I think everything was in the auto logistics zone, so really not too much to worry about for us at the moment. But what I was kind of talking about, or, well, the last time I recorded this, and I'm now looking to talk about again, was that of course you all kind of reminded me to also look at the demands that we have for the products that we produce and try and fill those as best as we can while not overfilling them at the same time. So just having a quick look right here, you can see we need 6 berries every 15 days right here. I'm not 100% sure to see how much this plantation actually produces for me, because it does say production time 30 days. I'm guessing it's 30 days per every one of these fields, so in theory we should max out at 3 berries a month. So we could, in theory, I guess, have 4 plantations to actually fulfill this demand, which sounds quite good to me. I'm not sure that's actually that way. No, wait, here, 2 per field. So again, 6 a month. So we could have 2 plantations, and that would then actually fill that demand. So that is certainly something to kind of keep in mind there. Maybe we are going to expand that soon. We also then, of course, have the toy store, and this one was very interesting because we've got 8 every 15 days required. If we look at this toy factory here, we're making 2 every 15 days right now. So we've got a lot more demand right there for these. And also, if we look at the lumberyard right here, you can see that in theory we've got a harvesting time of 15 days by 3 harvesters should amount to 6 units a month, right? In theory. Actually, it isn't quite amounting to that. I am really wondering myself if that is because, like, these harvesters don't have enough trees around them and they still kind of need to wait for the saplings to grow. So please, if you know, let me know down below in the comments. Does that actually affect the efficiency of the harvesters, that there's not enough trees around them? My theory is that that's the case. But in theory, I think we should be able to punch out 6 units of wood every 15 days here, and we do in the factory only require 2 units of wood every 15 days, as you can see right there. Which is interesting, because if I rethink that real quick, that means that what I did in the last version of this episode's recording probably isn't all that efficient, because if we only need 2 units of wood every 15 days to make 2 trains every 15 days, that means that in theory, one of these lumberyards should be able to supply 3 factories on its own. And what I ended up doing in the last episode was I actually built another lumberyard. I was looking to do that again. I was looking like to build another lumberyard and be like, well, let me double check this. This is what it means, right? Because I think I misinterpreted that in the last episode. I think you put in 2 units of wood and you get out 2 wooden trains. That's the way that I think it works. Just give me 1 second, guys. Alright, sorry, my pollen allergy is like being hell mid-April right here. But as far as I can tell now, we need 2 units of wood for 2 trains. What I initially thought was that for every train that I make, I need 2 units of wood. I'm really not 100% sure, I'll have to say. I think we spend 2 units of wood and we get 2 trains out. Please let me know down below in the comments in case you know, because I think that is probably going to be quite critical. If I need 2 units of wood per train, that means I use 4 every 15 days, which would mean that I need 2 lumberyards to feed 3 factories. But if I only use 2 for 2 trains, that would kind of mean that with 1 fully efficient lumberyard, I could feed 3 factories on my own. So quite the difference right there. I'm not 100% sure, so please, if you have an idea about how this works, let me know down below in the comments. I would very much appreciate that. Can we actually turn the camera? Oh, we can. Look at that. Toys. Beautiful. But what we're going to do for a start here then is, instead of what I did in the last episode with placing another lumberyard and actually increasing our wood output, we are going to focus on first actually getting another factory in, and we're going to see if we can feed that other factory with the outputs that we have. Now that's the wrong button right there. What we want to do is this. Now the factory road seems to be right here, and as you can see, this is not going to be in the auto logistics zone of the warehouse, but the reason I'm placing this over here is that we've of course already got this air purifier over here, and I'm kind of hoping that with the air purifier being there, it's still going to be able to purify the air despite 2 factories being there. I'm not quite sure about, like, total capacity of this thing. I'm thinking eventually we'll just have to build a second one, because one is not going to be enough to work against those 2, 3, 4, 5 factories, however many we will end up placing. But for a start, we're going to do it this way, and we're going to hope that that actually works out for us. So, now, what I'll have to do here is I will have to set a destination for some wood to actually feed into that toy factory, and I'll actually have to kind of think about how I want to do this, because I don't want to do max cent of unlimited. The way that I did this last time was I had a max cent of 8 and a minimum kept of 4. Now, a minimum kept of 4 would kind of mean that that's enough, in theory, if we use 2 units of wood for 2 wooden trains. That would mean that we have enough for a month's produce in this factory. And we can send a max of 8, which would mean that we have some buffer in the other factory in case we need it. Now, the question here being if we will actually have enough wood for the second factory, because as you know, this lumberyard right here is kind of a bit bouncy in terms of output right now, because we really just don't have enough trees around here. And the saplings, I don't know, over a duration, like, I don't know what that duration is supposed to be, but I'm thinking it'll still take quite a while, so we will have to kind of monitor this and see how it develops. But on the other hand side, you can see, I think our first toys are actually just leaving the factory, so that should mean that soonish we should be selling those, which I hope is going to happen, because currently there's no trucks actually rolling out of the warehouse, but maybe there's like a max amount of trucks or something that the warehouse can put out. I'm not quite sure. Oh no. Did the trucks just come from the toy store? I think they did. Look at that. They picked up the toys, and we're going to get them delivered to the toy store very soon, hopefully. Now we have an R&D alert. Oh yeah, the wheat field is complete. So we got to get the cows in there now, and that's going to take us quite a while probably. Made our first bit of profit along the way, which is nice, but I'm pretty sure that's going to go away, because like, usually, from what I've kind of learned thus far, the R&D efforts actually do cost me quite a lot, and do kind of lower my profitability by quite a lot, so as long as we've got R&D going, I'm pretty sure we're not going to hold our profitability too well. But that's the first toys sold, that's the first money made, which is absolutely great. We've also got a production alert here. Missing input. Missing input or missing output? I think we've got a missing output more than a missing input, don't we? Because in theory, there should be a destination to that toy factory now, which would, yeah. So we will be delivering wood whenever we actually have some. It doesn't look like we really have much of any at the moment, though, which is slightly annoying. We'll have to see how that goes, but we will have to choose this as a destination, of course, as well, for all the products we make. I kind of forgot about that. So that's that set up. Now, on the other hand side, like, you can see that these harvesters are working at different speeds right now. I mean, like, the production times seem to be all over the place, which is a bit worrying. I mean, even this toy factory right here is not being properly fed, so maybe we should consider getting a second lumberyard in just to make sure that we feed in enough products to actually keep these factories running, and then if and when this lumberyard reaches a high productivity level, maybe we can just pick another something that we can make from wood, like toy furniture or something else, and just make some more money off that. Because I don't want to have these factories idle around like crazy, and that is what it currently seems like. So I think we're going to go and do the same thing I did the last episode regardless. I'm kind of feeling that at max output I should be able to feed 3 factories with this lumberyard, but I'm also kind of feeling that we are very far from that max output currently. So what we're going to do is we are going to go and place a lumberyard right here, just as I did the last time, and we're going to go and actually get some harvesters going. Now the harvesters, I'm going to try and actually make them use the wood around them a bit more efficiently, hopefully, so that our frequencies here do in the end very much hopefully work out for us. Now the thing here being that. Okay, perfect. So that should hopefully mean that most of these harvesters will be working at more or less peak efficiency, and we will get a good bunch of wood fed in to the chain, hopefully, and we will be able to run these 2 factories, and we'll maybe eventually add a third or a fourth one to it. What I would like to do though is we're going to go and terraform around these guys here a bit, make sure there's going to be more trees growing just in case, so we do have peak efficiency eventually. And what we will also have to do is we will have to go to destinations right here and make sure that all the wood that we produce actually flows into that warehouse, because I'm pretty sure it's not in the auto logistics zone of that very warehouse. So that should hopefully ensure that our toy factories run a lot smoother for us, and well, maybe will give us the ability to put another one or two down. Now, what I do want to see here, though, I don't know if we can see it yet, given that this factory hasn't really been running much, but I do want to check out the heat map here for pollution. And as you can see at the moment, it seems very clean. I mean, there is like a little pollution here, but that doesn't seem to be able to spread. So the air purifier is doing a decent job for us currently. And I'm hoping that it stays that way. We'll have to see how it goes when the second one goes and actually produces a lot more. And we'll also kind of have to see how it goes when eventually maybe we place a third or a fourth one. But with that said then, this should in theory mean that over time we will have enough wood flowing into here and that'll all be going just fine. Now on the other hand side though, you can see that we've got this berry field out here. We need a lot of water for that. I mean, 2 units of water every 30 days. We are also punching a lot of water into this air purifier right here. And, well, we're making like 6 units a month. So basically with that air purifier using up 2 units, I don't think we can really water more than 2 fields here consistently, which is going to put quite... well, it is going to lower that profitability for us quite a lot. So we need to do something about that, and given that I do want to go and actually push my farms in the future very much anyways, given that like we need cows and all that good stuff, you know, stock up on some live produce. What we, not live produce, livestock, what we will do is we'll put in the water siphon right there, and we will go and put some harvesters up around it, and we will make sure, if I can actually place it the right way around, we will make sure that we actually, that way, then hopefully have enough water flowing in. This thing also should be in the auto logistics range, I hope, of that warehouse up there. So, fingers crossed that that will sort itself. I'm sure we will find out in just a second. For the time being, though, let's go and do that, I think. And that should be a lot more water flowing in. That should hopefully be the plantation then using all the 3 fields available. And, well, I hope that that's going to be us producing a lot more berries and making a lot more money with berries. Now, this thing we set up, which is beautiful, and ingoing products, we add the water siphon in there. That's all flowing automatically, so that is absolutely great too. We've got missing input still. We have got missing input still into this toy factory, which I really dislike, especially given that we have now got this lumberyard up here. But maybe it's just, yeah, I think like the first like harvesters are just now finishing up, so we are now just really getting the wood into that lumberyard, and that's again going to go to the actual warehouse and then going to have to be redistributed. So hopefully that is going to get fixed in just a second. As you can see, I mean, we're keeping 4 as well, so we are only really delivering out everything that goes beyond that. So now you can see the warehouse is actually pushing out some trucks with some wood, which is going to go to the toy factory, and that second one is going to be spooling up too. So, in theory, hopefully, that is all going to be just fine for us. Now, with that said, for one, we're losing money still, which, as I said, is kind of expected. You can see right here, we're spending like 100k a month on R&D, and, well, as much as we are kind of making profit on everything else, the RNG is just pulling us down. So that's what it is. That's totally fine. I mean, given that we have one factory that was just idling for the last 2 bajillion years, and we were still making profit theoretically, except for that little R&D factor, I'm honestly kind of pretty happy with that. So I think that's all overall kind of moving the right way for us currently. Now, in terms of that plantation, we have got the water siphon here now. That should theoretically also be getting us another 6 units of water a month. We've got a surplus of like 4 units of water a month flowing in from the other warehouse, so we should be at 10. Not... Is it a month or is it in 15 days? It's 15 days, which is interesting. So we should have a lot of surplus, honestly. We should be... No, wait. No. We're making 3 every 15 days, so we're making 6 a month, right? We're making 6 a month from there. We're getting 4 a month from there, so we've got 10. And every field is using 3 a month. So we should be able to get in another plantation of berries and a wheat plantation and still have like 1 left over, which is basically nothing for us, right? So I think then we're going to get 1 more plantation for berries going, given that we are not even close to probably fulfilling that demand. We've got 6 every 15 days. We're making like 3 every 30. So we can get another berry plantation going, hopefully make a tad bit more money that way. And then whenever we've got the cows going, we'll get another wheat farm going. And yeah, hopefully get some livestock as well. So for a start, let's get into the plantation. We're going to go and plunk that down like... Could plunk it down right here, to be honest. We're going to plunk it down right there. And we are going to go and, of course, add some fields to that. So, we're going to add 1, we're going to add 2, I'm going to add 3. And with all the water that we have left over, we should easily be able to feed that water in. We should be making a bunch more berries. We should be able to fulfill that supply and hopefully make a good bunch more money from that water that we're now farming, because I do of course kind of want to use all our capacities more or less efficiently, and well, I just don't want to have the water stockpiling up like crazy and us not really using it much at all. So that should hopefully be nice. Now another thing that I have to say is kind of bothering me a bit is the movement speed of like trucks along these dirt roads. Like I really kind of want to get proper roads going, so I'm considering to, after the livestock, actually go for urban roads. And that is actually kind of interesting too, but this would be kind of nice. I mean, it's a 400k total cost research, but I would really kind of like that. We will have to see about that. I feel it would be very much worth a while, because that would speed up our logistics quite a lot. Well, we'll see about it. We'll see about it. For the time being, delivering a lot of water to this plantation. That should mean all 3 berry fields instantly growing then, I hope. And we are also getting so many berries out of that other plantation now. It's crazy. It's probably still... No, it doesn't have anything more in stock, but that's a lot of berries delivered out. And all these berries are now going to flow to the farmer's market, going to make us some more money. And, well, estimated sales up at 124 grand, which is beautiful indeed. We are not too great on our balance now, which I don't like all too much, but all these factories are going very nice and smoothly, so hopefully, very hopefully, we are ever going to increase in profitability here. In terms of destinations, yeah, I did set that up, so that should all be working just fine, and well, hopefully that's going to be nice. I'm pretty happy with where we've come this episode. We've even come a bit further than the last time I tried recording this. So I think we're gonna end it off right here. We're gonna set off at this spot in the next episode. Actually get the cows finished in terms of research, get a wheat farm up, get some livestock going, and hopefully make some milk, make some meat that we can then sell at the farmer's market and make ever more profit. So pretty happy with that thus far. We're getting very nice and busy and making a good bunch of money, so hope that's going to continue in the next one. For today, I'm getting it off right here. If you know about this sapling thing, please make sure to let me know down below, and well, also if you enjoyed the episode, please make sure to hit that like button. That always does help out the channel a ton. And if you're new around here and haven't done so just yet, also please consider hitting that subscribe button right down below, as well as that bell icon, to stay up to date on all the future upcoming episodes. But with all that out of the way, thanks so much for watching, everyone, and as usual, I hope I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao.